Hello, my dear students. I hope you all good. Be safe in your home. In our last class, we just started the chapter 8. Right. The topic, the land of sand. Right. In that chapter, we have seen about deserts. Okay. In the deserts, location, land, climate, vegetation and wildlife. Right. In location, Saudi Arabia. Okay, it is the fifth largest country in Asia. It is surrounded by Jordan, Iraq, Kuwait, Equator and the United Arab Emirates UAE. Right. Oman and Yemen. Okay, it is surrounded by these. And the Red Sea, it is on the west, and the Persian Gulf, it is in the west. Okay, it is also comes from the one mark. Okay, the Red Sea is in the west and the Persian Gulf is in the west. And then the land. Most of the Saudi Arabia is a rocky plateau. Okay, covered by a vast desert. The land of sand means we have studied in this about deserts. Right, it is most of rocky plateau covered by a vast desert. It is full of soil and rocks. And then about half of a country is in the barren desert. Okay, the Saudi Arabia country and half of a country is in a barren desert. There are mountains on the west and side and near the Red Sea. Okay, Red Sea is in the west side. Right. The mountains on the west side near the Red Sea. There are so many mountains at that. And then the interior part of a country is covered with sand. Okay, because half of a country is fully in the barren desert. Right. So the interior part of a country is in the covered with sand. And then the region is dotted with sand dunes. Strong winds often shift the dunes from one place to another. And then there are no lakes or permanent river in Saudi Arabia. Okay, there is no lakes. There is no permanent river in the Saudi Arabia. And then the wadis or streams that are formed after the rains last for a short time. Okay, the streams that are formed after the rain last for a short time. So there is an acute storage of fresh water is in the country. Okay, it is an acute storage of fresh water in the country. And then the climate. Okay, Saudi Arabia usually in the desert it has a very hot climate and very cold climate. Okay. In the daytime, it is very hot in a desert. In a cold time, it is very in a night time, it is very cold in a desert. Okay, and then the Saudi Arabia has an extremely hot climate. There is hardly any rainfall. Hardly comes the rainfall hardly comes for once in a year, like that. 6 months, once in a 6 month, like that. Okay, in fact, there may be no rainfall for several years also. The summer season lasts from May to September. Okay, the weather is very hot and dry during the daytime. The nights are relatively cool. Okay, usually the deserts have these two climates. That is, in the daytime there is a very hot climate. In the night time it is very cold climate. And then the winter season lasts from October to April. The summer season lasts from May to September. And then the winter starts from October to April. Okay, these are the warm while the nights are very cold. In the coastal areas the temperatures are mild. Okay, in the coastal area the temperature will be mildly. And then the sandstorm are common in all seasons. Usually in the deserts it have sandstorms, right? And then we saw about vegetation. That is, the plants that grow here can withstand the hot and dry weather. Okay, usually a normal planet like rose planet or something flowers, right? It is does not withstand with that climate because it is very hot and it is very cold. Okay, so that a plants that is grown there. Okay, some of the plants that is grown in a desert, right? Able to know that. And if you don't know that what is a plant means, you have to search it in Google and know it about that. Okay, and then the plants that is grow here there, right? It can withstand the hot and dry weather. And in the most plants have long roots which go deep into the soil in search of water. Okay, because in the desert there is no permanent river, right? So that roots need a water to be alive. So that it search for a water in under the soil. Okay, so that the roots are long, very long. And then the next is that they also have soft and fleshy roots and streams to store water. Okay, the roots are very long and it has soft. Okay, it can absorb the water easily and it can store the water in the roots. Okay, because there is no rainfall in that. Okay, hardly there is 1 or 2 rainfalls in a year. So the roots can store water so that the tree or a plant can be alive in a desert. And then the sedge, tamarisk and the date palm are grown here. The next is wildlife. Okay, many animals are found here. The different types of insects, the different types of snakes and the different types of scorpions live in the desert. Okay, and then the eagles, vultures, rabbits, mice and the wild goats are commonly found here. Okay, then actually we all know that in all the deserts they have camels, right? The camel is a most useful animal in the desert because its feet are adapted to walk on sand. Okay, it can also live without food and water for many days. It can store the water in itself. Okay, it can store the water and without food it can live for many years. And in today's class we are going to see about the economic activities of a Saudi Arabian country. In that the main agricultural products are wheat, rice, dates and vegetables. Okay, then the main economic run for Saudi Arabia is in the petroleum. Okay, Saudi Arabia is one of the largest producers of petroleum in the world. Saudi Arabia is one of the largest producers of petroleum in the world. Almost the entire income of a country, okay, comes from the export of petroleums because it is the largest producers of petroleum in the world. Okay, so that the income of a country comes from almost entire income of a country comes from the export of petroleum. The government developing different types of industries such as petrochemicals, petroleum refining and then power generation and telecom. Okay, the government developing different types of industries. And then the discovery of petroleum has changed the lifestyle of a people. Let's see the life of a people. The people who were nomads yearly now live a settled life. They work as traders in the factories. The industries like petrochemicals, petroleum refining, the power generation and the telecom. Okay, they work as traders or in the factories. And then the towns and cities have grown rapidly. People in villages still lead a traditional life. They move from one place to another place in search of pastures and water sources. Because in Saudi Arabia it is a desert, right? There is no water, permanent river in the desert. So that people move from one place to another in search of water sources. And dress. Arab men wear loose, long sleeved one piece dress that covers the whole body. They also wear a cloth over the head held in place by a ring woven from camel hair. Okay, Arab women wear loose black cloths. Okay, it is also one piece dress that covers the whole body. And the next is Bedouins. Okay, they are nomadic people. Most of them lived by breeding camels, sheep, and horses. Okay, they get milk from the animals and use the hair of these animals to make cloths, tents, and rugs. Okay, the lifestyle of a Bedouins is now changing. Many have given up this nomadic ways and have settled in urban areas. And it is the traditional tent. Okay, this is a traditional tent, traditional Bedouins tent. Okay, and then the next is cities. Saudi Arabia has many cities, both old and new. Okay, Riyadh is the capital of a country. It is a modern city that with skyscrapers, parks, markets, hospitals, and educational institutions. Okay, let us have recall. In this lesson, we have seen about deserts, right? The deserts, a Saudi Arabian country. In that, we have seen about locations. Saudi Arabia is the fifth largest country in the world. It is surrounded by Jordan, Iraq, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates, and the Oman and Yemen. Okay, and then the Red Sea is in the west, and the Persian Gulf is in the west. And in the land, most of the deserts are the full of soil and mountains, right? Like that, most of Saudi Arabia is a rocky plateau covered with a vast desert. And then there is no lakes or permanent river in the Saudi Arabia. Okay, then so there is an acute storage of fresh water in the country because it has no rainfall. Then climate is Saudi Arabia has an extremely hot climate. Okay, the summer season lasts from May to September, and the winter season lasts from October to April. The days are warm while the nights are very cold. Okay, usually we know that, right? Deserts are in a daytime it is very hot, and then in a night time it is very cold. And in the vegetation, the plants that grown there, right? It can withstand both the climates, that is hot and dry weather. Okay, it can withstand it so that it can alive. And then the roots are very long and soft and fleshy roots so that it can absorb the water easily and it can store the water and store it itself. Okay, to the alive of a tree or plants. And then the wildlife, many animals are found here, right? The different types of insects, snakes, and the scorpion life in the desert. And then the eagles, vultures, rabbits, mice, and the wild goats are commonly found here. And then the most important and the useful animal in the desert is, yes, camel. Camel is the most important and the most useful animal in the desert. And then we have seen about economic activities. the main economic run for Saudi Arabia is, yes, petroleum, because Saudi Arabia is one of the largest producers of petroleum in the world. And in the life of people, the people who are nomads earlier now live a settled life. Arab men wear loose long sleeved one piece dress that covers the whole body. They also wear the cloth over their head held in place by a ring woven from camel hair. Arab women wear loose black cloaks. And then Bedouins. Okay, they are the nomadic people. Most of them live by breeding camels, sheep and horses. Okay, they get milk from the animals and use the hair of these animals to make cloths, tents and rugs. Okay. Then this is the traditional Bedouins tent. And then cities. Saudi Arabia has many cities, both old and new. Riyadh is the capital of the Saudi Arabia, and it is a modern city with skyscrapers, parks, markets, hospitals and educational institutions. And then we have recapitulation questions. Which country is the largest producer of petroleum in the world? Yes, Saudi Arabia. And then the Arabian desert is a hot desert. Then the Dash Sea lies to the west of a country. Yes, Red Sea. Red Sea lies to the west of a country. And which animal is the most useful animal in the desert? Yes, camel is the most useful animal in the desert. Dash is the capital of Saudi Arabia. Riyadh, right. R-I-Y-A-D-H. Riyadh is the capital of Saudi Arabia. Okay, write the recapitulation questions in your rough note and submit it in GCR. Okay, thank you students.